Let's talk about the United Nations Work and Relief Agency. What is it that the United Nations have for refugees worldwide?
So in order to understand UNRWA and how it fits with the general UN High Commissioner for Refugees, is that in the beginning, there was nothing special about establishing a temporary mechanism special for only one conflict. They did the same things with Korea. They created UNRWA. The K was for Korea. Why was it a temporary mechanism? Because it was understood that it's going to settle the refugees within a few short years, and then it will be disbanded. So UNRWA settled 3.1 million Korean refugees in 3 years with a third of UNRWA's budget. And look at South Korea today. It could have been the Palestinians. UNRWA was supposed to do the same thing. For a year and a half, it was supposed to settle several hundreds of thousands Arab refugees in the West Bank, Gaza, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, the places to which they fled, and move on, and close down and move on. But after UNRWA was created, when the UN High Commissioner for Refugees was created, the Arabs understood very clearly that if they would be treated according to the universal refugee standards, which do not privilege repatriation or what Palestinians call return, which really just focus on settling refugees and ending the refugee situation so that everyone can move on, they didn't want that. They understood that this would mean that the war is over, and they didn't want the war to be over, because the Jewish state was able to emerge from the war. And remember, that's unacceptable.
So UNRWA is a weapon to continue the war rather than...
Precisely. What they did was secure for themselves a loophole from international standards in order to hijack UNRWA to become a Palestinian mechanism. UNRWA essentially builds the Palestinian identity, but as an identity that is singularly focused on no Jewish state, through the idea of return and revenge. And this is why it always produces violent organizations, because generation after generation, decade after decade, it tells Palestinians, whether they live in Syria or Lebanon, West Bank or Jordan, or Gaza Strip, where you are now is not where you need to build your future. You need to take back Palestine from the river to the sea. When you grow up, you have one noble duty: liberate Palestine. So if that's what every generation hears, of course you're going to have organizations that use violence, whether they're called Black September or the Democratic Front or Hamas, in order, from their perspective, to liberate Palestine.
Unbelievable. So they get a VIP treatment of an agency just for themselves to basically prolong the conflict as a weapon against the state of Israel.
Precisely.
And why is it that the state of Israel is so passive about it?
Wow, this is one of the battles that I've been waging for years now.
For how many years?
At least 15 years, ever since I was a member of Knesset, even a little bit before. I've never understood it. It made no sense for me. It's something that I think will have to change if we are to have any future. It's as if Israelis, our leadership, our military security establishment, they refuse to take the Palestinians seriously. And one of the things that I'm most proud of in the work that I do, in the book, The War of Return, that details the history of UNRWA, is that I give Palestinians the respect of taking them at their word. And they say that UNRWA is an agency for the purpose of return. They're even saying it now. You know, all of the world is like, oh, UNRWA is an aid agency. And the Palestinians are like, no, this is the guarantor of the moment of return. They're saying, like, listen to them.